So, this is a video I've had a hard time making, but I think it's finally time I do it. Why I don't like Harry Potter. So I should state, even though I'm holding up the movies, I mean the books and the movies. Now I should state, if you like the movies, cool. If you like the books, cool. Like, that's not the problem I'm having with Harry Potter as a franchise, as a book series, as a film series. Um, and and I'm gonna also state some things here, like the Harry Potter books, 1 through 7. I'm not Chris Child. Get that out of here. Um, are objectively well written, good books. And the movies have objective, good qualities like special effects, good to decent performances. Because a lot of the child actors were never really that good. They were fine, but they weren't like spectacular or anything. So that's why I say good to decent. Even some great ones, and a lot of the cinematography, direction, all that type of stuff is fantastic. So those things are great. Okay? So, yes, I give Harry Potter respect as a film series and as a book series. But doesn't mean I'm obligated to like them. I do think the movies are, objectively speaking, bad. And the reason I feel this way is the way the books are written. So books, I kind of want to say 5, but I'm going to say 1 through 4, are very episodic in tone. They're very episodic books. So when the people who adapted the Harry Potter books into films, first of all, we have the Game of Thrones problem, which is that Game of Thrones was still being written at the time of the show coming out, and that messed with the ending. It messed with some of the other seasons within that show. We have the same problem with Harry Potter. Um, and but so I get really bored through Harry Potter, and I couldn't figure out why, because this should be engaging. I should be enjoying this, and I was thinking maybe it's just I don't like that kind of magic fantasy stuff, and I'm like, no, I do. I watch Lord of the Rings. Absolutely love that stuff. I love the books. I love all kinds of fantasy and wizards and cool stuff. Um, so why is this boring to me? And I couldn't figure it out for the longest time until, of course, I saw the movies first. And you could say, hey, that's sacrilege. I'm like, first of all, um, either way, I wouldn't compare the movies to the books. But this is a observation about the movies that I made because I read the book. So it's not so much I'm comparing them. It's just like this is an objective fact about the book to movie adaptation. The books are episodic in nature, so the movies have to be that. So they're paced like episodes of a TV show, which means when I sat down to watch them, I'm bored because I'm expecting a film and I'm getting a TV show, like a bunch of episodes smacked together. So this is why I've always said that if they rebooted Harry Potter as a TV show, which, here's the thing, everybody would flip out and be like, no, no! Which is like, it would be so much better, but it's because so many people have nostalgia for movies that are very, very flawed. Like, they're not awful movies. They're not like, oh, the worst movies ever made, but they're just kind of messy in a lot of areas, pacing wise, um, trajectory wise, where the franchise was going. Six is a terrible film. Six is the movie where you cannot understand the film if you haven't read the book. There are so many plot points that don't make sense if you haven't read the book. And I know this because I watched the film before I read the book. And then when I read the book, I was like, oh, they had cut out so much essential, important details of the film that it was ridiculous. And they had said, hey, we're going to split this into 2 parts originally. And that's what their plan was. And they screwed up by not doing that. That's the only way you would have done it film-wise. But here's what I would like. If I would love Harry Potter way more. I wouldn't. Here's the thing. Okay. I'm not going to say I would love it. Because at the end of the day, I don't love the books. I still read them. I still like them. I reread them like every 3 years or so. But if they took Harry Potter, made a 10-episode season, each episode hour long, you can add things that weren't in the books, you can expand on things that the movies couldn't from the books, and it would just be a way better pacing-wise, because you can flesh out the story and make it feel natural and make it feel like it's supposed to be paced. I know that people would flip out at this, but I'm sorry, it just would be way better. And if you love the Harry Potter movies and you're like, the problem is that my problem is like Harry Potter is so overhyped to a ridiculous degree that this objective better version could exist, but people wouldn't let it happen because they pretend these movies are perfect. Which I'm gonna tell you right now, huge Star Wars fan, okay? Freaking love Star Wars, okay? Star Wars is my baby, okay? I coddle that baby all the time. But, like, if you told me, hey, I don't like Star Wars, there's a lot, it's just really stupid. There's so many stupid things to me. I'd be like, yeah, you're right, whatever. Because I love Star Wars, but I understand that half of the movies are awful. They're poorly made, like the prequels, the sequel movies, you know? Those are awful movies. Straight up. Terrible movies. Force Awakens, less so. Last Jedi has some good parts to it. Rise of Skywalker. Get that out of here. But, you know what I'm saying? Like, I can say that as a Star Wars fan. So I don't understand why people want to pretend their thing is perfect. What I really hate about film culture in general is that there is a large group of people who are unwilling to acknowledge that there's a flaw within something that they like, without understanding that not being able to acknowledge the flaws within something you like means that you probably don't like it as much as you think you do, because you're trying to go, no, there's no flaws, because if there's a flaw, I won't like it. Well, then you don't like it. If you can't acknowledge the flaws of something and still enjoy it, then you never liked it to begin with. Let's be honest. Like, I don't want to play it up as these are poorly made films. They're terrible. I think where these films fall is pacing-wise and writing-wise. You know, but the writing has to do more with where the books come from to where the movies come from. And that's the problem, is they paced all the first 4 or 5 movies kind of episodic, and then they had to slowly get more complex because the books did that. And of course, when they wrote these first 4 or 5 movies, they didn't prepare for that towards the end, and so they were kind of like, what do we do now? Because there were things that they didn't establish in the earlier movies that they now have to establish in these movies, and it becomes way more complicated, and it's very flawed for that reason. In fact, if you're a writer who's writing a book series, and someone comes to you and say, look, this is really popular, we want to make a film series, you should tell them, hey, I'm not finished writing the books. When I finish writing the books, you can do that. Because it's just, number one, here's what I understand. J.K. Rowling probably did it like this because how great is it? You have a film coming out advertising your new book and causes sales to go up because your films are very popular, right? It's genius marketing. But in terms of making a good product, making a good film, making a film that's understandable for everyone who hasn't read the books, it doesn't work like that. And that's my problem. Now, I don't want to get into this too much, but I also want to just state J.K. Rowling is a horrible person. She's a writer who has been slowly going online and tweeting out stuff about her books that isn't true, trying to be diverse. She's she's been out there saying how much she hates, not so much that she hates, but her her very bad position on transgender people and things like that, trans people, and you know, I have my own feelings on that. I'm not gonna state them, but it's just like it's very wrong of you to state things like that publicly, where fans of your books who may be like that can see that, and you know, you lose fans, you lose people, and you're offending people, and you're doing things that are just straight up wrong. And your books never had these things in them. There never was a secret Jewish kid in the books. There never was. Dumbledore was never originally gay in the books. Hermione was never originally black in the books. It's wrong of you to say those things because they're just not true, and you need to shut up. This also goes into the Fantastic Beasts films, because those films have a lot of those similar issues where she's just making crap up about her things that were never intended and supposed to be there. Like, Nagini is a person now. Why? Because she wants to make up crap that doesn't add anything to the universe. Really think about it. If you like that twist, cool. But like, think about it. What does it add knowing that she's a human? When you watch Harry Potter, what does it add to you? And also, it just muddies things. Like, I'm forgetting the character, but he cuts off Nagini's head, right? So, if he cuts off the head of that snake, wouldn't that be killing a person? See, like, it does things to the universe that were never meant to be there, and it's just wrong of a creator to come out and say, nope, this is how I meant it. I'm like, okay, but this is not how it is, and you saying that is wrong. So I'm done talking about J.K. Rowling. I just want to mention her because I feel like it's important that people be aware of some of the crap that she's doing, because a lot of people have called her out, and a lot of people have not, and a lot of people remain unaware, which is unfortunate because she is doing some straight up terrible things. She's insulting groups of people. She's promoting homophobic ideals and values. She's doing all kinds of terrible things. And then the other part of the Harry Potter thing is the overhyped nature. Like I said, people like to pretend these things don't have flaws. This is a thing that comes with people who have nostalgia for things, where they love things so much that they refuse to acknowledge that they have things that have flaws. Classic Disney films are like this, you know. People always say, that's my childhood, I grew up on it, great. And then they always tell you they're great and they love them because they grew up on them. But, which is like, you can love something you grew up on. I have things like that. But most of the things I like that, I've gone back and go, oh, that thing I liked when I was younger isn't great, but I still like it. I still have those warm feelings when I watch it, and I respect that. But the other problem I have with Harry Potter is every book you go in the bookstore has freaking Harry Potter on it. It's the next Harry Potter. How many books do you see that freaking on? And Harry Potter is not the end-all, be-all of books. It's because Harry Potter is so overhyped as a book series that now they have to slap that onto every book. I picked up a copy of Ready Player One at the library once, and the book says it was the next Harry Potter. This book that has nothing to do with any of the concepts that are in freaking Harry Potter. It's just straight up terrible. It's a terrible practice that that people are doing, and it's because these things are so overhyped that these people feel like they need to market things using Harry Potter, because everybody loves Harry Potter and pretends it's flawless when it's not. Like, I like things like Star Wars. Again, I know they have flaws. I like them regardless. I'm like, yep, those flaws exist. I still like it. That's the point. You can like something and still acknowledge its flaws. That's the point. Like, don't pretend it's flawless. Like, someone got pissed off at me because I said I didn't like the Harry Potter movies. Because, no, they're perfect. And they wanted to tell me they're perfect. It's just like, no, they're not. And you can't tell me they are. And because they're not. So the main reason I made this video is just to explain my position on this franchise. Because I do review movies. I review series of movies, and I review stuff, and I think I've stated in a few videos I don't like Harry Potter, and I wanted to go into detail, because number one, I know there will be people, a lot of people disagree with me, but there's also a lot of people that I think might connect with me, and if they connect with that, they can say, all right, because, you know, like I said, I have people tell me how wrong it is I don't like Harry Potter or whatever, you know, and if I'm being told that, just one person who doesn't like Harry Potter, imagine how many other people are being told this and things like that. So, you know, I want to be that voice that says, hey, if you don't like Harry Potter, that's okay. If you like Harry Potter, that's okay, right? I want people to see this video and go, yeah, I understand where you're coming from, and I want the people who don't like Harry Potter to find some acceptance in the fact that there are other people that may feel similar things to them. Maybe not exact one-to-one, but, you know, similar things. And also just explain why I will probably, now I won't say like never, but most likely won't. Maybe one day we'll review the Harry Potter films, the Fantastic Beasts films, or the or any other like future projects related to that type of stuff, because frankly, it's the same reason I'm not going to watch the Zack Snyder cut of Justice League. I've already made my feelings clear. I don't like that stuff. So why go out of my way to view this thing I know I'm going to hate and not like? And yeah, there's a chance that, hey, it could be good. But like, I already have such strong feelings already based around stuff that's already been available related to that I don't need to be a part of that. And if people want to watch it, that's cool. But like, for me, that's just it. It's as simple as, hey, me, I'm a fan of things that I love, and I don't need to be out there. So, yeah, I absolutely, like I said, I respect Harry Potter in some ways. I don't respect it in other ways. I respect a lot of the people who made the movies, a lot of the actors and actresses, except Emma Watson. I really don't have respect for Emma Watson by any means. I find her just a very egotistical person, and I don't know her, so maybe she's not, but like she just comes across that way. I really hate her as Belle in the Beauty and the Beast remake. I don't like some of the career choices she's made, but you know, she's not like an awful person, like, but I don't know. I just don't have respect for her in some ways. But that's my own personal thing, I guess. But yeah, I respect a lot of the ambition of the films. I get that they were hard films to make. Like you could feel the hard work and passion that went into making these films. So I'm not gonna act like, man, no one tried with these films. I think the Fantastic Beasts movies, yes, no one tried, writing wise. But this was like, but just because someone. So, like, here's my thoughts on film, is that if a film is good, then you don't have to like it, but you should at least be if you can see that someone tried and did a good job, you should at least be appreciative, right? I'm a critic. I can't tell you, oh my gosh, Harry Potter films are completely garbage, because they're not. My job is to tell you the objective quality of the film. And I know some people want to be like, there is no objective quality in film. I believe there is, because I can point at bad editing in a film, right? Bad editing, and I can show you a well edited film and then show you, hey, this is what good editing looks like. Here's bad editing, and bam, I prove to you that that exists, right? There is objective factors in film. If someone doesn't care about that, that's different. You can do that. But like, that bad editing isn't like, man, that thing does not exist. It's only subjective that it's bad editing. No, because there is such thing as good editing. Bad effects are bad effects because I know what good effects look like. Bad acting's bad acting because I know what good acting looks like. All these different things. And so when people say that stuff, it's really just a way of them trying to say, in my eyes anyways, that they're trying to say, well, yeah, it's subjective because what you like in a film, someone else may like. Like, there are people who've told me they like the acting in Twilight, and that's not like a knock against those people, but what I'm saying is, like, you can like the acting in those movies, but when the people involved tell you, hey, we did a bad job, and then you get offended at me because I said the acting's bad. The objective factor is they said that the people who actually gave those performances have distanced themselves and gave better performances, become better actors, right? So, if I say them they're bad, that's objective. Like, there's no denying it. The people involved have said it, right? Again, there's objective sides to film, but the reason people don't believe there is because people just want to be able to enjoy something without acknowledging its flaws, which is a terrible thing to do. Because if you can't acknowledge a flaw within something you like, then you never liked it that much to begin with.